So notice first over here on the left that it says use time, 4 minutes and 13 seconds of 7 minutes and 30 seconds. Export time resets on May 1st. So basically you have 5 minutes of publishing time each month. So you'll be doing a video project this month, and you'll be doing it in WeVideo. And if you publish it, let's say it's 2 minutes and it's not right, then you go back and you fix it and you publish it again and it's still not right. You won't be able to publish it a third time because now you'll be up to 6 minutes. So you have to make sure that when you are done, that you are officially done, and that's when you publish. So just be aware of that, because that's one of the difficult things about WeVideo. Now, it gives you 5 gigs of storage space. So you just want to check that and make sure you're not using too much of it. But once you're ready, you're going to click on Create New, and it'll bring you into WeVideo. And the first thing you want to do is you want to come up here to the top left where you have these little 3 lines. And basically this is kind of like your save and manage area. Click on rename and just go ahead and rename your video. So last name and then autobiography or interview, whichever one you are deciding to do. And that'll just make it easier for you to find when you're done. Now, notice you also have storyboard mode and timeline mode. You need to be in timeline mode. Storyboard will be too simple and you won't be able to do everything that you need. And then just notice you have some other options in there in case you need them. All right, but once you're ready, you're going to upload your footage. So either right here on this little main area or right here, you'll see this little green cloud with an up arrow. So you'll click it. You can either browse to select your footage from your camera if you've plugged it in and saved it to your computer, or if you've got it saved on your Google Drive, you can click on your Google Drive. Okay, I'm going to browse to select, and then I'll go to where I have my footage saved. So I'm actually going to pull in some footage that is not related to an autobiography, so just a heads up to that. But let me see here. So let's just say I'm going to pull in this piece of footage and this piece of footage. And then let's see here. I'm going to pull in an image as well if you want to do that with me. And then let's see here. I'm also going to do this piece of footage. Okay, so I'll hit open. All right, so now my footage is coming in, it's starting to be visible. And notice the little blue bars basically just kind of means that they are loading. It says start editing right away, your media uploads while you create your video. So basically, this video right here is a video that I ripped from the internet. I can click on it and hit play over here, and it is the Disney intro for Disney movies. Now, you can do that for your project. For extra credit, you'll get 5 points for adding a external video from YouTube, ripping it from the internet. But if you add like 3 of them, you won't get 5 for each. It's only 5 for all 3. And you have to figure out how to do that yourself. That's why it's extra credit. So let's say that's going to be my title. So I'm going to drag that on and I'm going to drop it onto my video 1 line. It says, oops, your video is longer than the available publish time for this month. Upgrade. So again, you can see that's where you're going to run into issues. Okay, so maybe what I'm going to do here is I'm going to trim it because I want it to be shorter. So if I click on the clip and I come to the beginning or the end, I get these double-headed arrows and I can click and drag. And what that does is it basically just gets rid of the beginning of the video. So now when I hit play, oh, I imported the wrong video there. Whoopsie daisies. So actually, this is a good example. So I actually trimmed too much. So I'm going to bring all of that back, and I can just by clicking on it and pulling it forward. Okay, I could also hit the undo button to undo it until I got back to where I was. All right, and so maybe I drag that down again. Okay, so let's watch it this time. So I scrub through here and kind of figure out where that ends. Okay, here's where it ends. Now, because this video is so long and I would have to scroll to the end and trim all of that back, what I could do is I could click on the clip, have this little playhead in place and click on the scissors, that's going to split the clip. So it splits it into 2 pieces. Now I can click on that second piece and hit delete. And now I just have the beginning here. All right, and so we can see the intro and it's playing. So maybe with this, you wanted to add a title on top of it. Okay, so what we would now do is we would go to the text option here. We would click on text, drag it down to the video 2 line. Now, you want to put it where you want it to start. So if you don't want it to start till a little bit later, you can drag it down. If you want it to last longer, then again, you just click on it, you hover over the beginning or the end, and you pull, and that'll change the length. And then I want to change the text here. So I'll click on the pencil that pops up when I click on the clip. And I'll change it here. So I'll just say green family vacation, because that's what this is. Again, you're going to be doing something different for your video. I'm just trying to use this as an example. Over here in the preview, I can pull on these little sizing handles so it fits on one line there. Over here on the left, I could change the type of font to make it, fit more with what I want it to look like. I can bold that font. I can italicize that font. I can change the font color. So a lot of different things that we can do here. I'm going to put it back to white. These are like different highlight and background colors. I don't really suggest using those, but you could play with them. The size, so I can just drag this and it will change the size. The line height, so that's just changing really the height of the characters. And then the spacing should be the spacing above and below. So we don't actually have that. So that won't change. And then you can just show here that it says, show grid, snap in place. So basically you could just kind of move this around to make sure that it's dead center if that's where you want it. And then you can hit done editing, or you'll notice there's another tab here that you can click on where you can actually animate this text. So maybe for the start, you want it to be here, and maybe for the end, you want it to be zoomed in. And so you can see now how that's really, really zoomed in there. And obviously that's not something I would want. So I would probably put that back. I would probably just decide to trash that and leave it as is and hit done. All right, now, actually, let's go back in there really quickly. Notice there's this fade in and fade out option as well, and you can edit those settings as well. I'm going to check that. I'm going to hit done. And so now I can play this, and you see that fades in as you are seeing it. You'll also notice some other options up here. You can click on this kind of looking, Q-tip looking icon. That's the fade in and the fade out as well. You can click on the FX, and that's going to be effects. So if you want it to look a little bit different, you can see over here how it's going to show you the normal and then the actual option that you're using there. So a lot of different options. All right, so that's just the beginning with adding our title and adding in our first video. I'm going to go ahead and stop here, and I'm going to come back in another video, and we're going to look more at what we can do in WeVideo. So I'll see you next time. Hey everybody, welcome back. Let's keep working in WeVideo. So we just added our title and we added a video that would go underneath of that. So next, maybe let's say that we want to add an image. So I've got an image here that I've uploaded as well. I can drag it and I can drop it on the video 1 or the video 2 line. Really, I would use the video 2 line for anything that's being overlaid on top. Now, notice here that this doesn't look great because it's in portrait. You always want to make sure that when you're filming or taking photos for a video project that you're doing it in landscape, because that's how our monitor looks. You can kind of see how, unfortunately, that doesn't look too great. But let's just say we want to use it. Now, right now, it's lasting about 2 to 3 seconds. If I want it to last longer, again, I can click on that clip, drag it forward a little bit to make it last longer. I can hover over these 3 little lines to, again, see the editing and different effect options. I can click on the pencil to do the animation. So let's say this time I actually do want it to zoom in so that you can see me on the roller coaster. So, and then maybe let's say I want it to fade in and fade out again. I'll hit done editing. And so now we can play this. And then we see how it's zooming in there on me in the roller coaster there. All right, so now let's say that we want to add some video here. So again, we can click on the video, we can drag it down to the video one line. And then again, you'll see that this one is in portrait and we really want these videos to be in landscape. So I specifically brought these on so you could really see this. And there is music to it, which is really nice. Now, let's say you tried to drag this video one line down to the audio line. You're going to get a no, you cannot do that. In Movie Maker, we can actually separate out the video from the audio. In WeVideo, I don't think that we can. I have not found a way in which I can do that. I've looked over here to see if there's any additional options, but unfortunately there is not. So you wouldn't be able to do that. But again, I could decide how much I want to keep of it. I could click on the scissors to split it, delete the other clip. And so now I've got a portion of that in there. All right. Now, let's see what else you might want to be able to do. So if you look up here at the top, you'll see there's some nice graphics. So if you didn't want to do the Disney video, let's go ahead and let's maybe move all of this down. I can select all of it with my highlighter. I'm trying not to select that title there. Okay, and let's say we want to put one of these backgrounds here. So we just click on it, we drag it down to that video one line. Again, we click on it and we use the trim to pull it out. We could make the title last that long now as well. Now when we hit play, we have this little graphic with the title on top. So you can go through those folders and just kind of see if there's anything you're interested in, like these cool little things, that you can put in there. That will just make your video look a little bit more interesting. Again, those are overlays. So if you were going to use that, like, okay, let's say we were going to use this, this little cloud here on top of the Walt Disney. Now, when we hit play, we can see that Walt Disney behind it. You can see it's happening over and over again. So if you don't want that, you would want to essentially zoom in down here at the bottom right. I can zoom in, figure out where one ends. So looks like there, and then click on that and trim that back to that spot. So now you're only getting one of those. Oh, I actually still have two, so I got to trim back a little bit more. All right, let's try that. All right, and it looks like I need to get one more little piece of something that was just getting left behind there. All right, so those are little overlays. I'm going to zoom back out. Next, we have transitions. So this is just transitioning from one thing to the next. So if I wanted to use the cross dissolve, let's say from the image to the video, I would just click on it, drag it in between. You can see it dropped it there. I hit play, and we can see the cross dissolve from the picture to the video. Again, if you want to edit that, you might have to zoom in so that you can see it a little bit better. And when you click on it, you can either change the transition, change the duration, or change how many clips you want it on. So you've got all those settings there. All right, next is music. So if you wanted music kind of playing softly behind all of this, you could, let's just say, grab one of those. You can click on it, obviously, to play it so that you can hear it. And then you would drag it down to the audio one line. So now when we hit play, we've got that music behind our video. Now you can increase that volume by using this little slider over here on the left. So it's a little bit louder now. You can click on that audio and go to the little kind of Q-tip looking icon to do a fade in and a fade out, as well as increasing the volume. You can even drag these around so it takes longer to fade in and longer to fade out. Okay, we can click, let's see. Let's go ahead and hit play. So you can see now we're not really hearing it as well, and it's just getting louder and louder as we play. All right, and when we get to parts like this with other audio, we would really want to lower that volume. So we would click on the clip, we would split it in both of those places. Okay. You got to make sure the clip is selected. If it's not, the scissor won't work. There we go. And now I can adjust this one audio line. So again, you know, I can click here and I can do like a fade in or a fade out. I really don't want that. I'm going to close that gap or really just undo. There we go. Click on that little guy. Take the volume, lower it there. All right, now let's play this. So you can hear that it's not as loud now because we've split that clip and we've lowered it. And again, we could do the same thing here, you know, splitting the clip, the audio clip at the beginning and the ending of this video where we have audio that we still want heard. And then clicking on the clip, going to the little Q-tip and lowering that volume so we don't hear it as much and we can hear more of the audio from the video. You could also remove it as well if it doesn't make sense. Click on it, delete it, now it's no longer there. If you were going to do that though, you definitely want to make sure that you're fading in and fading out. All right, that was the bell for classes here, so I'm going to go.
This video will show you how to save an image from Google back to your Google Drive. We're specifically talking about how to do this with a Chromebook. So I'm in a new Google tab here, and I'm going to go up here to the top right and click Images. This will get me to the search of only Google Images, and I'm going to type in the word bird. Now I have a lot of bird choices here, but I only want the ones that I can use in a copyright-friendly way. So I'm going to click on Search Tools, and then I'm going to click on Usage Rights. And when I click on Usage Rights, now it's showing me which ones I can reuse and change, or I can just reuse. We're going to look for ones that you can reuse, which means that they have the licensing to be used in presentations and projects. So we're going to click on Labeled for Reuse, and now I have my choices narrowed down to the ones that I can use in my project. So I'm going to click on this bird here, and then I'd like to save it back to my drive. So in order to do this, I need to right click, which is 2 fingers on a Chromebook. I right click, and then I have the option to save to Google Drive. When I hover over that, I'm going to click Save Image to Google Drive. Once I do that, this bird, yellow bird, is there. I'm going to rename that to Yellow Bird for Project, just to show you that this works to change the name here. And then you hit close. Then I'm going to go back over here to my drive, and I'm going to refresh. Well, it didn't even have to. There it is, Yellow Bird for Project. So now I have this image in my Google Drive, and now I can use it in other apps or in Drive itself by putting it in projects and presentations.